So this video is going to show you how to use a string class. So far we know if I have something in a quotation, this is called string, correct? I can say string name equals this is string. And you may notice that the type is string, not a primitive type, which is from this package java.lang.string. That means it is a class, capitalize S, right? That's why I said you already capitalize your class, right? Meaning that you can access to its Java doc, and this is string class Java doc, where it resides in this package java.lang. One thing about java.lang, like if you use scanner, you have to do import java.utils, right? Java.lang, you don't need to import. You may see when you use, you don't have to import because this package is automatically import. Okay, so that's why you don't need to import. So to create a class, you can just do like that too. Like for example, like a scanner, right? Since it is a class, whenever you're dealing with a class, you may see like new, right? Like scanner in this string and put the value inside the parentheses. It's pretty much the same thing. Either this one or this one is the same. So if you read the constructor is where we call, this is called constructor, right? If you look at the constructor, see there are many constructors we call overloaded constructors. With you can have a byte array type. This bracket means array. We will learn later. You can see an example here. You can create a characters data. Like normally when you do just one group, right? But if you want to be a group of characters in the curly braces, we use an array. That's an array, right? And then you can create a string as ABC from a group of characters. So that's what it means, okay? I will learn more about arrays, so don't worry much. But this exercise we worry about, like for example, if I declare a string like this CDE, right? I can concatenate print ABC CDE, right? The string itself has the methods, just like keyboard.next and like you can do substring, right? Substring, like substring of ABC. Now when you look at ABC, there's an index in the string. Like I have ABC, index is 0, 1, 2, right? So always starting from 0. So you can get to the method from the like quotation dot, or you can get from the name CDE dot. Same thing, because this holding is string, right? Either one is the same. Substring 2, 3. ABC actually 3, that means there's nothing in there, right? So substring, if you read substring, it's going to say starting index, which is 2, and ending index 3, and it's not including the contents from the end, which is return C back. Okay, so substring, that means you can get a portion of the string out of the whole string, right? Like cde.substring12, meaning that put the index to the CDE then 0, 1, 2. So it should return just a letter D, right? D back, because starting index 1 and exclusively 2 is ending 2 but exclusive, so it's not including E, so it's return D. Okay, so things like this you should know. You can see on the test. Okay, now there are more, right? You see constructor, like I just used this one, string original, like that, right? And you can scroll down. There's so many methods like char@, right? So if I try to do system.out.print, we use the same principle of the index, right? So if I do name.char@0, what would I get out? First characters, right? Index 0 right there, right? Which is a letter T, should print out. Caps T, right there. See? So that's how you use the method of the string, right? And we have more like code point at. So it's now you have to learn what would it returns, right? So this will return char, right? So what I'm gonna do when you know that it's return char, then you should declare char, right? Like a letter equals to, right? So what is the contents of a letter? Should be capitalized T, right? Now we're gonna do another one named .code point at. All right, so let's do this together. First, identify the parameter type. In Eclipse, it's already show you in index, but how would you do that? We're gonna use code point at, and according to the Java doc here, we know we have to provide an integer as an index, and we did provide 0 right there. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to split this on side to side. You see code point at here. So we refer to the string at this index 0. It should be capitalized T. And we'll return an int. So we have to declare, we know it's written int because of the modifier and type here of that method will return. If it's char, it's return a char. That's why we see char at index 0 returns a char, right? Characters. So return int, then we just say int. And it returns the characters, Unicode point. So I'm going to name Unicode then. Unicode. Now what would we expect to see? We expect to see a Unicode version of the capitalized T. If we run this, we should see the result. I have to do system.out, right? To print the result out of, let's say, letter. Now I'm going to print the result of the Unicode, because Unicode is holding the value that it returns, correct? So let's run it. 84. And we're going to verify is it correct. So we're going to say Unicode, right? So look at the table, and we look at capitalized T. 84 here, right? That's the HTML code. This is the hexadecimal number, 0054. So if you convert 0054, right, from, we learned this basic, right, from the previous video introduction. So like I said, hexa 0054, decimal is 84, right? So that's pretty much returns the Unicode of that letters for you. So that's how we use it, right? So how to use the string methods here, right? And now if we keep reading this, we have code point before. We should be able to assume that it's going to return the Unicode of the one that's before the index, right? So let's test again. Okay, return as int. Okay, before Unicode equals to name dot code point before. Now let's test just index 1. Before index 1, it should be index 0, right? Which should return the same, which is 84, right? So I need to do the printout of this before Unicode, because it's going to store the values that returns in the variable's name before Unicode. And let's run this. Exactly, right? Now I wonder if I do index 0, what would it return before index 0? We have nothing. That's why we get index of bounds exceptions. Because index is only between 0 and the length, right? You cannot go before, like -1 is index out of bound, right? So have to be careful sometimes when you write a code, you may get into that. But it's explained why, right? So this is pretty much how you use all the method from the string, right? Class just keep reading and testing like code point count, right? So between that beginning index to the end index, return a number of Unicode points, right, in that text range. Okay, so let's try again. So we gotta do again. So we gotta do beginning index 0, okay, ending index, let's say 2. So it should be, now it's very common that it's not including index 2. It should return just T and A for you, right? So we gotta say range, okay, Unicode. Let's print out the range. Okay, code point before, code point count instead of code point before, right? Alright, so let's run this. 2. Now, return the number of Unicode points. Seem like 2 letters to me. That's what it looks like. If you want to read more, just read description, click on it. It's going to show more details. Return the number of Unicode points, right? The text range begins at the specified, right, begin index and extends to the char at index and index. The length of the text range is end index. Okay, this is talk about begin and end. Unpaired surrogates within the text range count as 1 code point each. So return the number of Unicode points in the specified text range. Pretty much just there are 2 Unicodes, which is T and S, that returns. So that's what you're going to do for this, okay, class exercise. You're going to do the minimum of using concat equals and so on up to 20, right? So test all the